If you like adventure co-op games like It Takes Two, then you must absolutely try Split Fiction. But since it's not on Mac, you'll need to apply some workarounds. In my attempts to play Split Fiction on Mac, I found 4 valid solutions that let me enjoy the game, and now I want to share my findings with you. If at any point you find yourself overwhelmed with all the information, there is a link to our site in the description where you will find a very structured article on how to play the game. But before you choose which one you want, you'll have to buy the game. To help you, we'll leave links in the description to where you can purchase it, and we'll also add links to discounts when such are available. Now, let's get to the ways to play it. The first method you can use is Boosteroid, the cheapest cloud gaming service that's actually any good. The main draw of cloud gaming is that your machine doesn't matter so long as you can supply it with around 40 megabits of stable internet. And if you've got a faster connection, you can crank up everything to max even in 4K, and you should be more than fine. This cloud gaming advantage is especially evident in the case of a game like Split Fiction. It's a relatively demanding game that's also visually gorgeous, so playing it with high or even maxed out graphics and 4K resolution is an absolute treat. And you can totally do that with Boosteroid without worrying about performance as long as you've got an okay internet. When testing the game in Boosteroid, I streamed it with the highest settings and 4K resolution while connected to a 60 megabits per second wired internet. The result was a near native experience with only occasional stutters that had zero effect on my enjoyment. Also, Boosteroid supports the Free Friends Pass, so you don't even need to buy the game if a friend of yours has already given you their pass. Obviously, some of you simply want to run the game locally, and I totally get it, but I still think it's worth at least giving the cloud experience a test run. All you have to do to start gaming is follow the link in the description, register for the service, and buy a subscription. Then just search for the game and click play. It's all pretty easy, but we have a how-to tutorial if you need it, and an overview of the service if you want something more in-depth to make up your mind. The next solution is GeForce Now, and it is the largest and most popular cloud gaming service out there. Its pricing is steeper than Boosteroid, but this is somewhat offset by its larger gaming library. Ultimately, the choice between the two depends on personal preference, but I still prefer Boosteroid simply because it gives pretty much the same performance, but at a considerably better price. But if you want the best of the best with all the bells and whistles, go with GeForce Now. Like with Boosteroid, all you need is stable internet with around 40 megabits per second, and you can play games with 1080p and 60 frames per second without any noteworthy lag. And if you've got a faster internet, say around 50 megabits per second, you can stream with 4K and 120 FPS. Using GFN is similarly simple. Just go to the respective link below, click Join Now, pick a preferred plan, and register. Then download the service's macOS app, launch it, and look for Split Fiction. Then click play, and after logging in, you can start playing. Crossover is the go-to method in 2025 if you want to use your Mac's hardware. It will give you the ability to play anywhere you want without internet limitations, and scales better with newer Macs. But you're not going to get anywhere near the graphical fidelity or performance you'll have with cloud solutions. With Crossover, your main limitation will always be that some performance will be lost due to the use of translation layers. In other words, even if you are on a high-end machine, its resources won't be used optimally. That said, in the case of Split Fiction, performance is actually pretty good, and you should be able to play it with decent FPS through Crossover, even on an M1 chip, as long as it has 16 or more gigs of memory. Obviously, you'll need to adjust the in-game settings according to your hardware, but that's a given. I personally tested the game on an M3 Max MacBook Pro with 36 gigs, and performance was excellent. I got between 80 and 100 FPS on ultra settings and 1080 resolution, which is very good for a game played through a compatibility layer. There were occasional graphical glitches with some textures, but they were rare and minor enough not to affect my enjoyment. So Crossover is definitely a valid solution here, especially for Macs with 16 plus gigs of memory. Also, with this method, you can use mods for single player games, and there's a 14-day free trial. To use Crossover, click the link in the description, enter your email, and download the app. Then, after you install Crossover, you must click the Try Now option for the 14-day trial. If you need a longer tutorial, visit our video on that. Just note that the experience with Crossover can sometimes vary between updates, so don't be surprised if it suddenly starts to break the game. If this happens, check our site for the detailed instructions, or you'll have to research this on your own. A quick tip before I move on to the next method. Make sure that D3D Metal and M-Sync are enabled in your Crossover bottle. From my research and personal experience, this is how you avoid the majority of graphical glitches that tend to occur in this game when played through Crossover. Sikarugir is currently the most popular replacement for Whisky since the latter got discontinued by its developer. Think of it as a DIY version of Crossover. It's free, but it's not as reliable or user-friendly. I personally prefer Crossover, but if you are on a tight budget, you can give Sikarugir a go. As for the setup, you first need to install Homebrew, then Sikarugir itself, then Steam, and then the actual game. The process takes a bit more time compared to the other methods here, and so is beyond the scope of this video. For detailed guidance on how to set up Sikarugir, just click the respective video in the description and it will show you exactly what to do. So this brings us to the conclusion of today's video, and if you are interested in exploring more popular gaming titles you can play on your Apple machine, you should check the videos that will now appear on your screen or simply browse through our channel. Also, in case you found this content helpful, we'd greatly appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you in the next one.